I have never graded a Pokemon card before, so for my first submission I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm taking an entire evolution line from just one blister pack and I'm sending them all off to get graded together, but there is a little catch. I want these all to come back as perfect 10s, all three of them in a row with sequential cert numbers. If one of them falls short, the challenge is a failure. So if you don't know anything about grading, just like me, I'm going to try and explain a little bit. Now here we have a graded card. This is a Sidemen card, a signed Toby card from that set. Now my son was actually lucky enough to pull this with Toby at the Sidemen Studios. Randy was there as well. He offered to get the card graded and then send it back to us, which he did, and it came back as a 9, which my son was super chuffed about. Signed card from Toby. It just goes to show that having cards graded isn't just about adding financial value. It's also about preserving a moment in time. And this was such a special day for my son and my family. Having this as a helpful reminder of that day really is amazing. So when you send a card off to a company to get it graded, they essentially look at 4 different parts of the card. They're looking at the centering of the card, making sure that it's in the center and it looks nice. They look at the surface of the card for any print defects, any scratches, anything like that. Then they look at the sides of the cards, the edges, to make sure that it hasn't been dinged and battered, it's not folded or creased anywhere. And then the corners. They check that the corners don't have any, again, any marks, any dings. Now, cards can come straight from the pack and have these little marks on them from the printing and the packaging process. So not every card is going to be perfect. That's why getting a 10 really is pretty difficult and pretty special. So now you pretty much know as much as I do, which admittedly isn't a lot. That's why this challenge is really going to help me and you learn about what sort of cards will get what grade. I don't expect this first one to come back as a win, 10, 10, 10, but it will teach us what sort of cards grade to what sort of number. So let's just get into it. Let's open this pack and see what we've got. So here is Sword and Shield Battle Styles. 1 pack blister with 3 cards, all from the same evolution line. Tyranitar, Pupitar? Larvitar. So let's get into it. Fingers crossed. There we go. So we've got a pack. We're not interested in the pack. That doesn't matter. There's also a coin in here. We're not interested in that either. Get rid of that. This is what we want. The 3 cards from the set. Right then. When I was looking on the pack, it does look like they're all centered pretty good. There's the Tyranitar. Centering looks good. That's a good start. The Pupitar, again, centering looks good. We're happy with that. And finally, the Larvitar. And again, the centering is pretty good on all 3 of those. Now what we're going to do is make sure we get these, sleeve these ones up. Let's keep them, give them the best opportunity we can to make sure that these cards, should they be any good, remain as good as possible. There we go. Right, let's do them in order then. Going to start with the Larvitar, and we're going to have a look at the back of the card. Fingers crossed this works out beautifully. So centering is pretty nice. I do straight away see there's a big ding, a big ding-a-ling in that corner. If I show you the, get the back of another card, and it's they show up a lot better. If you see here, you can see that white mark. That does look like that could be, that corner looks all right. That corner looks all right. That corner, that's just a bit of dust on the card. That corner looks all right. That's pretty promising, you know. And the edges also look pretty good. So at the moment, it's just that one ding. Now, I have heard, I don't know how true it is, but I have heard that if you can get 10s on everything, as long as the centering is a 10, and you get 10 for edges and a 10 for surface, you can get away with having a little ding on one of the corners. If that gets a 9, you still get a 10 overall. So far, I think this one's actually got potential. Let's check the surface of the card. We'll probably need to take it out for that. Having a look for, you can't really see on the camera, can you? But just having a look for any scratches or marks or dents or anything like that. And you know what? There's a big old dent there. Is that going to show up? You can see it that way. Whoa, if I didn't have shaky hands, you'd be able to see it. You can see a dent in the card. Whoa, shaky, just there. So that is definitely not going to get a 10. Everything else looks perfect. There's that one little mark on the corner, which I think we could have got away with. But I think that's going to affect it. So my prediction on the Larvitar, not knowing anything about grading cards, my prediction, an 8. That dent could, maybe a 9, 8 or 9, 8. I'm going to go 8. 8 for Larvitar. That's a shame. Now, to get out of this situation with a semi-win, because we're obviously not all getting 10s now, we want them all to be 8s. That's the plan. So let's have a look. Next we're up to this fella, Pupitar. I'm probably saying that name wrong. I always get these names wrong. Centering's perfect by the looks. Centering's perfect by the looks of it. We'll have a look on the back. Maybe a bit heavy on this side compared to this side, but I reckon it would probably fit in with the window of 60-40 that Ace requires. And let's have a look at the corners. Maybe. I think they look pretty good, you know. Is that a little mark there, maybe? I think it's just that one. I think that's quite good. Now let's get this one out. Has it got that same little ding in the bottom? It's not easy when my hands shake. I don't know why they shake so much, but they do. I don't see anything on the surface. No little dings either. Again, you can't really see it on the camera. I think that one could be a 9 or even maybe, based on the getting away with one little error. I'm going to go 9, possibly 10. I'm going to go 10. I'm going to see if that strategy works. I think that's a 10. I don't think anyone else is grading that card either. Why would anyone grade that? And here we go. Stage 2, Tyranitar. The last one. Again, the surface, the centering looks good to me. Again, maybe a little bit heavy on the left-hand side here, but what do I know? Let's have a look on the back. Bit of a ding up top, maybe. See that little mark there? Is that on the... That's on the sleeve, don't worry about that. Moving on. Tiny mark there, maybe. That one looks clean. I think that looks pretty clean. Now this is the first one with a hollow. So these can get damaged, right? I don't see any scratches or marks. Do you know what? Do you know what? I think that could be good as well, you know. With that one, Tyranitar, I'm gonna go. It's got one little error, and if the story checks out, that could be a 10 as well, you know. So I think I've got an 8, 10, 10. Larvitar with the dent and a busted corner. You can see the dent. And that's what people say, these blister packs, the cards bash around, they're not protected, they're just in the plastic, getting shipped and handled and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be rare to get one. But I think these 3 cards, I reckon I could get 2 out of 3 here. I reckon there could be 2 10s and an 8. That's my prediction. Let's get them sent off to ace grading and let's see how they come back.
One eternity later.
Well, it's been a little while, but we've got the package back from ace grading, my first ever grading. What have we learned? Did I get the predictions anywhere near correct? There's only one way to find out. All right, I haven't looked at these yet. We haven't gone into it. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Here we go. Packaging. And here are our cards. Well protected in there, which is good to see. Get them out, we don't want to spoil anything. Now, I sent them off in order. So I'm hoping that this one here is going to be the first card, the Larvitar. So, as you just saw, I think we gave this a prediction of an 8 because of that bend in the corner. So I've seen people do this, covering up the grade, and it is the Larvitar. Just went for the colour match labels, because I think the other designs that Ace do, they look amazing, but they probably look better on a card that's got the design all across them, you know, across the whole card. Anyway, so I gave this an 8, pretty much based on the dent that was in the card there. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Okay, a 6, huh? So that dent probably means it's a lot more of an impact on the card. So based on this one, it looks like I have been hugely optimistic on the grading of the card. But that's what this is all about. It's about learning what's going to grade as what. And I don't think there was much else wrong with it. Oh no, there's a big, you see that on the camera? Big whitening on the bottom corner. So a 6. How did we do with the other cards though? So the second one, the Pupitar, I gave this one, my prediction was a 10. Let's have a look at the back again. Can't really see. I gave it the big 10. Let's see. Okay, so this one's more red and orange underneath there. Would have thought it would be the same colours as that, because it's the same, essentially. I guess that's green for the green and orange is predominant here, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they work it out, but crazily, I predicted this one would be a 10. Moment of truth. An 8. Way off. Absolutely way off. Absolutely off by a mile. We didn't get very close with that one either. Turns out, so far, I'm not very good at this. The last one, the Tyranitar, I predicted again, optimistically, a 10 on this shiny, the Tyranitar Hollow. And this one got... Yay! We got one right. Gem Mint 10 on the Tyranitar Hollow. Well, the challenge has well and truly failed. Obviously, we didn't get the whole evolution line all in 10s from the same pack. But what I have learnt from this, and that's what this is all about, a bit of learning as to what grades well and what doesn't. That if you want to get a 10, they've got to be a lot more perfect than I am giving them credit for at the moment. So we've got to be a bit more tighter and stricter with what we're looking for before we submit them to ace grading. But that's it. We failed this time, but I'm going to try again. There's plenty more of these packs with evolution lines included. At some point, we're going to get one. And in the meantime, we're going to learn more about the grading process on the way. So if you like it, please come back next time, see how we get on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.